Hello everybody, we are back at it again. I don't have any updates to show you right now, so we are just going to get right into what I'm working on today. So for quite some time now, I have been wanting to implement some more decorative lighting in the background of the studio space, much like I've done with the chandelier in the corner, except I need it to be a little bit more versatile and flexible. When I put in the track lighting, I figured it would serve all of the function that I would ever need. It is just a little bit limiting though on what I can actually use with it. I've also found that it's not super convenient having everything on one singular dimmer. It would be nice to have some separate control over the more accent-oriented pieces. So in any case here, I am looking at adding another switched lighting source. Originally, I thought about just going around the perimeter and cutting in a series of electrical boxes and just capping off the ones that I wasn't using at any given time. But once again, that felt a little bit too permanent. Like for example, if I wanted to frame my sign here with a couple of small pendants on either side, I might end up putting the boxes in one place that would work for a smaller size pendant, but if I wanted a larger one, the box would be in the wrong location to work with this. So I had to throw out that idea and came to the conclusion that it had to be something as adjustable and flexible as track lighting, but I didn't want the mounting structure to be a power source that I had to plug into in any specific way. So you might be able to guess where this is heading. Just when you thought we were done with unistrut, we're back at it again. So I've got 4 10-foot lengths here, and I will show you the plan. The track lighting isn't going anywhere, it is going to stay right where it is. The whole idea here is that I want to be able to hang stuff further down close against the wall so that it's not out in the way. And at the distance out where the track is, that wouldn't work for me anyways. I like what these heads do with the wall washing and all of that business, so we're going to keep all of that just the way it is. The strut is basically going to mount inside of here closer to the wall, basically in line with where the chandelier is currently hanging. This hook is currently screwed into the truss above. I do have that running all the way along here to tie into. You can see up there I poked a little nail through to make sure I could catch it on both ends. On this stretch, I'm basically going wall to wall with it. That'll give me the ability to mount things very up close against either of the side walls. And then on either side, I'll basically just tee another one up against it and run it down this way. Since I don't really have room down here for another switch, I think I'm going to place them over here. The track lighting is my functional lighting that I use anyways. I likely will not use the stuff that's mounted on the strut every single time that I'm in here, so the switching being over here shouldn't be a big deal. I am going to implement 2 switch legs, one that I can use a dimmer on and one that will just be straight switched power. That way I can account for any situation that may arise, and there is room for expansion here in case I need to add anything in the future. Right now I do only have the strut. I am working on getting covers that snap in the bottom so that I can run wiring through this, but I am going to start working on getting this moving tonight, so I figured I'd hop on and get you guys up to speed with what's happening. I'm going to cut 2 pieces of strut to fit this span in here. I could just mount a full stick and then cut another to fill in the rest, but I want to give myself one clean seam right down the center, and then actually the 2 pieces that come off should be enough to mount on the ends of the side ones and finish off the length. So I'm not going to record a ton of the mounting process. I am going to need help with that in this space so that I don't completely ruin the ceiling, but I will pull this light down and then I will be back once the strut is mounted and we're ready to move on to the next phase. Alright you guys, I am at quitting time for tonight, so I just wanted to pop in and give you a little update on how far I got. I've got both of the pieces for this wall in front of me cut, and I also drilled and installed the chase openings so that wiring can pass from one strut to another once the other 2 are butted up against these. I finished out by going around and measuring and marking all of the placement. So right away next time I'm able to get some help from my dad to put these up, we will be able to get these up in no time at all. So for now I'm headed out, but when I come back the studio is going to look a little bit different. All right, I am back and a lot of progress has been made. You can see I have all of the strut up and I do have a junction box mounted at the end here. I could have just come straight up the wall and tucked Romex directly into the unistrut. However, I wanted to create a more accessible junction point. So previously I talked about adding these extra strips that I cut off of these two sticks here onto the ends of either side. As you saw here, I did have to do that. I didn't want to mount the box this far in just to make sure that it wouldn't show up in any camera shots that I do in the future. Usually I try to keep things within the scope of the drywalled area, so this just ensures that it's not going to show up. As I often do, I was just running off of approximate measurements, so once I got this stick up, I saw that I didn't really need to add any. I think this will extend over far enough. I don't see any reason right now to add any on. So this is where I'm at. I think the next step is going to be getting the switch box cut in, which I'm going to start working on shortly. Alright you guys, I have the switch box cut in and I have wire run all on this side. Out on this side, I have switches installed. I do apologize that this moved along rather quickly without any footage. I really only have today to get everything I want done, so I just had to power through and keep things moving. But from here, it's really just tying the power together to complete the actual infrastructure. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get any wire run through the strut itself and see if it'll stay in place without the covers. If not, I'll probably just have to wait on that until I can get the covers, but I would like to at least get my chandelier back up in the corner, so I will see if I can make anything work here and get back to you. Alright, so I have managed to tuck wiring right up inside the edge. It is a little finicky. The whole thing could really pop out at any time. Also, I do just want to acknowledge that I am running Romex in here right now. Eventually, I may change that out to individual conductors on spools. It's just a little bit more flexible and makes more sense in this application. But right now, I don't fully know all of the purposes that this setup might serve for me, so I'm just using what I have on hand. So that's said, I'm going to work on getting this chandelier put back up, and I will be back with you in just a little bit. After a bit of a learning curve, this was successful. I love this because I'll be able to use the original canopy in every scenario, and I don't have to cannibalize my fixtures by cutting the wires so short to put them in the track connector. For now, I'm going to leave these pendants that are on the track in place. I may and probably will move them onto the strut eventually, but for right now, in the experimentation phase, they work where they are, so I'm going to leave them. Now, the whole driving force behind getting all of this done now is I want to use this corner to experiment with doing a different type or style of brand feature. I don't want to give too much away right now, especially because I'm not even sure how this is going to work yet. But the point I'm trying to get to is I was thinking about leaving this corner just empty for the time being because I'm going to be working on that feature very soon. However, I bought these Kitchler mini pendants on clearance a little while back, and I did buy them with this application in mind, knowing that I was going to be doing this somewhere in the future. And there is going to be a lot of other filming going on in here before I am able to work on this feature. So I don't think I can resist putting these up for any longer. I really want to see them installed. So I am also going to get these assembled and try to pop them up in this corner. I do want to play with some different heights. That is why I purchased 3. So I'm going to have to go and finagle with this a little bit, but I will be back soon to check in with you. Alright, so after a couple of frustrations, the first one is in. I'm currently working on the second one. I've got both of these others assembled and ready to go. I am finding that feeding all of the wiring is really the major holdup. It is definitely a learning curve with unistrut in a capacity that I have not worked with before, but now with a couple of fixtures down, I am slowly figuring it out, and this should move pretty quickly from here on out. I am thrilled to say that all 3 fixtures are now in place, so I just need to finish off assembling those. I need to come over here and tie this together and get it closed up, and then after that it's just getting this power tied in, and then we'll be able to fire this up. So I'm going to take a quick supper break, and then I will be back to finish this out. So I have turned on the power. The problem that I am now encountering is that this switch lets a little bit too much current through and these bulbs never turn off. Now for the time being, I can just toggle out the power cutoff on the switch and that will turn them off completely. But I am thinking since this fixture is now separated from the track lighting, I could swap these bulbs out with a more standard LED option. The only reason I chose to lamp it this way is because I didn't want this chandelier in the corner blasting out lumens while it was tied in with the track lighting. Now that I can control it somewhat more independently, that becomes less of an issue. Down on this end, I am loving how this turned out. It is a little bit more minimal than I was anticipating, but it might help if I spread out the fixtures just a little bit. I grouped them close together just because I didn't really know what I wanted yet, but I think I could stand to give them a little bit more space. So this is pretty much as far as I can go for the time being. I'm going to be waiting on those covers that will snap into the bottom of the strut. Frankly, I may not even put those in until after I do the video feature that I've been talking about, because I will have to cut those covers to length and leave gaps for any spaces where the light fixtures are at. So I'll probably wait on that for a bit. Most of the wiring is hidden right now, so it's not really going to matter for the time being. So that's going to be it for this video. Hopefully I have enough footage to put together and make something of a decent length. So thank you all for watching today. Subscribe and ring the bell if you haven't already, and I will see you next time. Click left to watch my last vlog, or click right for the entire shop vlog playlist so that you can start at the beginning.